Let's meet the visiting New Orleans Pelicans. At guard, Gary Payton II. At forward, Al Horford. At center, Jonas Valanciunas. At forward, Anthony Edwards. At guard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The head coach of the business. It's time to introduce the starting.
We know the players enjoyed the rest they get during All-Star Weekend. But, Greg, do you think it should be moved to later in the season?
I like how the current format splits up the season, but it seems more fair to hold an All-Star towards the end of the season so that voters get a more complete look at each player.
Now let's take a look at the starters for New Orleans. They've got Horford. Gary Payton II is out there with Gilgeous-Alexander. Then there's Anthony Edwards. And it's Valanciunas in at the 5 spot. Good on the shot.
When Valanciunas is getting it to fall from there, the defense is in trouble.
For 3, Hayward. Pelicans pull it in. And with an update from the sidelines, let's check in with David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Greg Popovich and I did speak a few minutes ago. He said he honestly doesn't know what to expect. This is the first meeting between these two teams this year, so there'll be some feeling out at the beginning. But he told me sometimes that's when we're at our best. We're relying on our instincts and awareness at the offensive end. Kevin, we'll see if that holds true.
David, thanks. We appreciate the information. Guys, what do you think about their emphasis on shooting coming in?
Listen, if you can get really good shot quality, being efficient, I think they can be successful with that strategy.
They have to be patient and a willingness to make the next pass when the shot isn't there.
And that's why teams work so hard to get the ball inside, to create those high percentage looks and keep the buckets flowing.
Now, here's Payton. Outside, Gilgeous-Alexander. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Despite his slim frame, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is showing enough strength to take the hit and complete the play.
And Fred VanVleet, a player who has always shot well from outside.
And Kevin VanVleet has continued to kind of take on more of an offensive load, increased his volume while maintaining efficiency. Not every player able to do that.
And first time out of the game called for New Orleans. Jalen Suggs is checked in for Gilgeous-Alexander. Just over a minute and a half played here in this one. Now Suggs. Six to shoot. And Horford, here we go. And it's sent back by Isaac.
Oh, how about the read from the young fella? Isaac is dependable at anticipating when to go for the block.
Spurs passing it around. Suggs with the steal. Edwards inside, guarded by Tatum. Horford against Isaac. It's Payton, high post. Valanciunas with a screen on Hayward. Payton finds Valanciunas, and the dunk by Valanciunas.
Valanciunas getting rewarded there for putting down a solid screen on the pick and roll.
Here's VanVleet. Score the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
Yeah, 3 for 4 now. I like the pace for them on offense.
First quarter of play, we're about 3 minutes in. Valanciunas with a screen on Hayward. Here's Payton. The pass to Valanciunas. Nice D from Porzingis.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Count that one from Van Vliet. Van Vliet's got 6 points.
To counter the size deficiency, Van Vliet has developed an insane number of moves inside.
Horford sets a screen for Suggs. Fires from deep. And Tatum pulls it down. The Spurs have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far.
Manu Ginobili, Hall of Fame class of 2022. He played his entire career in San Antonio. And in 2003, Manu's rookie season, we won a ring together.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Nice touch by Horford. And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Noel's checked in for Porzingis. Markkanen comes in for Isaac. Dorian Finney-Smith's checked in for Tatum. And Fournier subbed in for Gordon Hayward. New Orleans also making some changes. Goga Bitadze's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Olynyk comes in for Al Horford. Davis is subbed in for Gary Payton. It's tipped. A chance here to get a quick injury report. And now an update on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from David Aldridge. David, what'd you find out?
Hey, Kevin, I chatted briefly with the head athletic trainer for the Pelicans. He confirms that it is a sprained ankle, and as you'd expect, it's very swollen and it's causing him a lot of discomfort. While the season isn't very old, this is still distressing to hear, and somebody is going to have to pick up the slack while he's out. Kevin, back to you.
David, thanks for checking in. On top of it is all.
It's interesting. Even with the advancements in strength and conditioning, injuries continue to impact the game.
And we're seeing that across all sports. Guys are just getting bigger, faster. The human body can take only so much.
Van Vliet passes to Noel. Good, and Van Vliet gets the assist.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Now, here's Suggs, covered by Van Vliet.
And what can you say about Suggs? A natural-born leader, very unselfish and great vision.
And it's Van Vliet with the ball for the San Antonio Spurs. To the left wing. Markkanen passes to Van Vliet. Outside, Davis. It's Edwards on the wing. They get a hand on it, and they get it back. The tray. And it's Suggs missing. For San Antonio, they've gone 6 of 8 in the game so far. A very solid start for them. Fournier finds Markkanen. Here's Finney-Smith. Kicks it out to Markkanen. Van Vliet passes to Noel. Here's Finney-Smith, and the last second attempt doesn't fall.
Really understanding the defensive scheme. Olynyk right there to contest that shot.
At the end of one, a close... And this has been a fairly close game through the first quarter, and we'll see what happens here in the second. Hey, guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for San Antonio?
For me, it's all about playing downhill. They've been making it look easy to find penetration in this one, attacking the lanes and forcing the issue with the D.
And on top of that, they've been asserting themselves offensively, getting a good chunk of their points from inside.
On the court right now, second quarter for the Pelicans. We've got Davis. Gilgeous-Alexander out there with Payton. Then it's Olynyk, and it's Brissett into the power forward position.
This shows Markkanen's understanding of the game. You play me to shoot from the outside, well, I'm going inside.
And Markkanen can give you, Greg, a solid defensive effort at both the 3 and the 4.
And Kevin, many thought Markkanen was a defensive liability, but give him credit, worked hard to prove he wasn't. And while not a superb defender, he has become a plus defender for this team.
Gilgeous-Alexander kicks to Davis. Olynyk, a screen on Tatum. Here's Davis. Porzingis with the block.
And the 7-3 reach of Porzingis being put to great use there.
Markkanen can't get it to go. Pelicans trail by 4. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Pass to Davis. Back to Gilgeous-Alexander. Olynyk sets a screen for Gilgeous-Alexander. Clock at 4. Porzingis with the block. And he recovers it. Now here's Wright. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. That one falls.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
And you love seeing that great mobile one drive a second time.
And that's what a coach loves to see in a close game. Just put your head down and make something happen.
Now, here's Gilgeous-Alexander. He's playing a pretty big role for him at the offensive end, averaging about 12.5 points a game. Good on the bucket. Olynyk's got 4 points this quarter.
Even though he lacks length, Olynyk's hustle makes him a threat on second chance opportunities.
A different look now for San Antonio. Isaac comes in for Lauri Markkanen. And it's Will Barton in for Wright. Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for the Pelicans. Horford comes in for Davis. Now here's Barton. Outside, Porzingis. The kick out to Barton. Back to Isaac. Pass to Hayward. The Spurs need to get a shot off here. Barton, no luck. The Pelicans have gone only 2 of 7 from the field since the second quarter got underway.
I think people underestimated the Pelicans last year. They had such a tough start to the season, but still were able to make it to the playoffs.
Now here is Horford. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, and it's all evened up.
This is where you'll often find Gilgeous-Alexander. He definitely does work in the paint.
Unfortunately, the Pelicans did make a first-round exit in the postseason, Greg.
In a series they took to 6 games, but yeah, it couldn't put together that deep run. Maybe this year things will be different. And gotta like what they've been doing down low in the post.
Brissett passes to Gilgeous-Alexander. Valanciunas inside. He's against Porzingis. Valanciunas, good.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Barton kicks to Porzingis. Again, the miss by the Spurs.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on them.
And let's head over to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Thanks very much. Now, for 22 straight years, San Antonio made the playoffs. They haven't made the last 3 postseasons. And former Spur Robert Horry worries if they'll ever be relevant again, saying, I hate to say that. San Antonio is a small market. Guys just aren't going to go there. And that's a dire prediction for such a storied and successful franchise, Kevin.
No kidding, David. All right, thank you. Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Noel's checked in for Porzingis. Dorian Finney-Smith comes in for Tatum. Fournier's checked in for Gordon Hayward. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Will Barton. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander following the basket by Fred VanVleet.
And this is Gilgeous-Alexander's responsibility to find his guys when they're open.
Here's Noel. And Valanciunas pulls it down. Valanciunas has got 4 rebounds in this game. Outside, Gilgeous-Alexander. Edwards kicks to Valanciunas. Passes it to Suggs. Valanciunas sets a screen for Suggs. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
And you know, Jalen Suggs has had to deal with some huge expectations, but he's got a great attitude and always works hard to live up to them.
And you know, for so long, many joked about how the Spurs were always too old, right? Too old, too slow, too stuck in their same ways. But that's changing.
Well, I was on a couple of those teams too, Kevin. I remember well, people said that the Spurs were too old and needed to get younger. And over the last few years, they've done exactly that.
Now here's Edwards. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Gilgeous-Alexander passes to Horford.
And no chance to shut that one down. Horford's reach made that play unstoppable.
Here's Van Vliet, and he converts the layup.
I love it. Beautiful job getting to the rim, making a play.
Here's New Orleans. They're on a 14-6 run. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. He has 6. No one near Edwards as he lets it fly. And out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession. The Spurs making a switch here. Markkanen's checked in. Kelly Olynyk's checked in for New Orleans. And here is Van Vliet. He's got 10. And Smitty, Fred Van Vliet has really come into his own as a starter.
He has, Kevin. He has proven he can run an offense. He's also a dynamic and confident scorer and someone you can depend on to sink big-time shots. He is one of the toughest players in this game, both mentally and physically. Fred Van Vliet never stops working, and he's reached star status.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Suggs kicks to Gilgeous-Alexander.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
The Pelicans have gone 2 of 4 at the free throw line.
And I think this is a strength of this team. Solid numbers at the line across the board, 77% collectively.
And he sinks the second.
As we've gotten closer to halftime, their style has become more and more physical.
Van Vliet passes to Markkanen. The 3. And Fred Van Vliet gets the 3. Van Vliet's got it all tied up now for San Antonio. Gilgeous-Alexander looking around. Shoots over Van Vliet. Tie game in San Antonio. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. Dave, thanks so much, David, and we'll step away.
Halftime is here, and with the San Antonio.
You look at their stats. They're shooting it well. Love the ball movement. They're getting guys.
And now let's jump to the Rookie of the Year race and see how it's shaping up. And that is a wrap. Now let's send you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the...
Second half of basketball upon us. We may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game it's been so far. Fred Van Vliet has been sensational.
Definitely been challenging the defense here early on, not settling for anything outside.
He's been very effective on the move, forcing the action, getting to his spots, and finishing plays.
Hayward out there with Fred Van Vliet. Then it's Tatum. Then there's Jonathan Isaac. And it's Porzingis in at the center. And that's who's in the game for the Spurs. Well, Greg, we see it every year. Those overachieving teams in the NBA. What enables them to be greater than the sum of their parts?
Well, listen, luck can play a part, but confidence is a huge factor as well. If you walk into that gym every night believing you'll find a way to win, oftentimes you do.
Steve, last season the Pelicans showed signs of progress over previous years.
Well, Kevin, securing their highest finish in 3 years. Yeah, I definitely call that solid progress. And I think this team could be on track to only get better.
I like when Tatum goes inside. He's using that height and touch to perfection from the interior.
Gilgeous-Alexander passes to Valanciunas. Back to Gilgeous-Alexander. 3-pointers off the mark. Spurs leading by 4. Van Vliet with it. Now Payton defending. And Isaac throws it down.
He's heady. He's unselfish. All Van Vliet does is make winning plays.
And Gilgeous-Alexander's got the ball here for the New Orleans Pelicans. And following this game, they'll challenge the Grizzlies on the road at the FedEx Forum in Memphis. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip. And Greg Anthony for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, part of a growing trend in this NBA, giving his team length in the backcourt.
Yeah, 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. He can see over the top of the defense. He helps you on the glass, and he can switch onto front court players defensively. That's what teams are looking for nowadays.
Hayward finds Porzingis. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Porzingis has got the lead up to 8 now for the Spurs.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Lauri Markkanen's checked in for San Antonio. DeLon Wright comes in for Fred VanVleet. Pelicans trail by 8. Gilgeous-Alexander passes to Valanciunas. Here's Edwards, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. It goes on Jason Tatum. It ended in the bubble, but how about the Spurs playoff streak? 22 consecutive seasons, Greg, coming to an end.
Kevin, making it every year from 1998 to 2019, winning 5 titles over that span, and having the same head coach certainly helped that streak. So did having, a couple Hall of Fame.
Hayward kicks to Wright. Hayward outside. Back to Porzingis. Lets it go with the 3. And again, it's the Spurs from deep.
Oh, great ball movement there.
2 minutes into the second half of play now. Outside, Gilgeous-Alexander. Horford with the screen on Wright. Gilgeous-Alexander kicks to Edwards. Just 3 to shoot from 12 feet out. And Tatum pulls it down. Tatum's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. The leadership of the NBA Players Association, Greg, has said they support expansion. And 2 cities, which seem to be the leading candidates, Seattle and Las Vegas. What do you think?
Well, I love both. Had the good fortune of playing in both cities, and I'd love to see a team in my hometown. But bottom line, more teams means more jobs, and that's the sentiment I think most can get behind.
Brissett has checked in for the Pelicans. Davis comes in for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Drops in the tray.
And this is big for Edwards' confidence, wanting to keep hitting from downtown and stretching that defense.
And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
And staying healthy for Porzingis has been a challenge over his career. Not uncommon for players standing well above 7 feet.
The Spurs haven't yet missed a free throw. 5 for 5.
And when you got a team percentage of about 81%, you're going to be one of the elites in this league.
Money from the stripe. He does a great job night in and night out.
Here's Edwards, and 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. And in New York, even before his injuries, the front office voiced concerns about Porzingis' ability to stay healthy.
Well, the track record for players 7-2 and up, not great. And today's game demands more movement from big men than ever before.
Looking who's out there now for the Pelicans. Olynyk comes in for Jonas Valanciunas, and Jalen Suggs is subbed in for Gary Payton. Markkanen into the lane. Bank shot, no good. Pelicans trail by 10. Outside, Davis. Olynyk sets a screen for Davis. That shot missing. Nice D from Porzingis. The Spurs have gone 5 of 6 so far from the field in the second half. Tremendous efficiency. That one goes in. Hayward's got the lead up to 12 now for the Spurs.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
Tatum against Edwards. Outside for Davis. Olynyk sets a screen for Davis. New Orleans needs to get off a shot. And it's Suggs missing. Spurs leading by 12. Wright, the pass to Hayward. Back to Wright. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Wright's got 4 this quarter.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
A moment now to hear from our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. David.
Thanks very much. Now, you may not know this, but Gordon Hayward was a 2-time Indiana State singles champion in tennis. He says, in high school, I was better at tennis than basketball, but I've always loved hoops more. Thankfully, I was able to grow throughout high school to get to the frame I have now. He has certainly filled out in the NBA. Kevin, back to you.
Yeah, he sure has. He's been a terrific player to watch and follow. The injury is significant, but he continues on. David, thanks. And again, New Orleans has no luck.
You know what, though? They keep calling his number despite the difficult quarter he's had.
And that one drops for him. And the Spurs lead by 18.
Offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
This has been an impressive performance tonight. Even with a big lead, they've maintained their focus.
Kicks it to Suggs. Olynyk, a screen on Porzingis. For 3, Edwards. Knocked away. And so it looks like the Pelicans will retain possession here. So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. And the Pelicans also making a change. Goga Bitadze's checked in for Davis. We've got 28 seconds left in the third. Here's Edwards. Gets it to go from 18 feet away. Edwards got 7 points for the quarter.
What a turnaround for him since the half. More aggressive and more effective.
There's the pass to Finney-Smith. Now, here's Isaac. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Olynyk's got his 6th rebound on the night. 1 second left. That shot, no good. And so it's the San Antonio Spurs in command with a 16-point lead as the buzzer sounds. And it's in a moment now as we take a look at our State Farm assists of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Yeah, you also have the location of the pass. Puts it right where it needs to be, where his man can do something with it.
And with the fourth quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. On the court for the Pelicans, getting the fourth quarter going. We've got Gilgeous-Alexander. Edwards is out there with Horford. Then there's Gary Payton II. And it's Bitadze in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Van Vliet passes to Barton. Pass to Finney-Smith. Just 5 on the clock. Great tee that time from Edwards. And Gilgeous-Alexander's got the ball here for the New Orleans Pelicans. Here's Payton. And a great assist by Gilgeous-Alexander as that one goes in. Gilgeous-Alexander's got his 5th assist in this one. Oh, what an impressive dribble drive. That replay brought to you by Mobile One.
It's all about the ability to get 2 feet in the paint, whether it's creating for a teammate or for yourself.
Pelicans trail by 16. Outside, Payton. Got a piece of it. Barton against Horford. Here's Isaac. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. That one on Gilgeous-Alexander.
And you want to see that. Isaac getting deep post position. He loves putting the defense in a tough spot, always looking to get to the line.
And some changes here for the Spurs. Porzingis is checked in for Noel, and it's Tatum in for Dorian Finney-Smith. Jonas Valanciunas is checked in for the Pelicans. Now a timeout called by New Orleans. And now a moment to present the New Balance Player of the Game, Fred VanVleet.
And his percentage from the field tonight seemed almost made up. I didn't think it was possible to have that kind of success shooting the basketball. You need a little bit of luck, a bunch of hard work, and a whole lot of talent.
Their previous 2 games have been losses, so something had to change to get them going again. He provided that spark, giving them a huge jolt of energy.
You have the size that Valanciunas has. There aren't many people getting in the way of your dunk.
Here's VanVleet, and it's sent back by Horford. Gilgeous-Alexander against VanVleet. Gilgeous-Alexander passes to Payton. Here's Horford, and he can't bank that one in. Spurs leading by 16. To the middle. Throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a 3-point play. It's on Jonas Valanciunas.
This is who you want leading that play. A sure passer with great awareness.
And they're drawing more whistles and working their way to the line here in the second half.
Pass to Horford. Edwards looking it over. Picked by Horford from outside the arc. Rebound San Antonio.
And you know what? If you're the defense, you got him right where you want him. Let him keep shooting those threes because he's been brutal in this half.
Tatum kicks to Porzingis. Shoots over Gilgeous-Alexander. And the Spurs scoring again.
And because he can score from all over the floor, Porzingis can find space inside. That's not the case for most 7-footers.
Gilgeous-Alexander against VanVleet. With the fadeaway. It's not going to go for him. It's the Spurs taking it the other way. Left side Fournier. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. On the wing, Payton. He's guarded by Fournier. In the corner, it's Valanciunas. And again, no good by New Orleans.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
Count it.
What I like here, even with the big lead, they continue to execute their offense.
They've taken nothing for granted. You can see they're playing the moment rather than the score.
Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over. San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Noel's checked in for Porzingis. Markkanen comes in for Jonathan Isaac. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Evan Fournier. And it's DeLon Wright in for Fred VanVleet. Gilgeous-Alexander kicks to Horford. Back to Gilgeous-Alexander. Passes it to Edwards. 5 to shoot. To stop the run.
Oh, did you see that?
Man, what a creative finisher. Edwards is so fast in how he gets up to throw it down.
And that last look brought to you by the AT&T 5G Slam King. Like we know a lot of teams using former NBA officials now working as consultants to teach their players how the refs see the game. I guess always looking for that edge.
Yeah, Kevin, I think it's a great idea because philosophically sometimes as the rules evolve, players got to learn how to evolve with them. So not getting the calls you might expect also how you communicate with officials. I think all of that stuff plays a big role in just furthering that dynamic between the officials and the players. All the officials are all over that one.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Spurs.
I think they've looked to dump it down low as often as possible, and so far they've been super successful using this attack.
And we also got to talk about the damage they've done inside. The opposition having a hard time keeping that ball out of the paint. And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Spurs.
You know, their big advantage was points in the paint.
And they found a way to pound the ball inside. And that was working all game long.
And now, for the year, this is going to take them to 7 wins.
And they'll take the win tonight, setting the tone in the first matchup of this 4-game season series.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Fred VanVleet.
A big part of their success was his ability to keep the ball moving, finding guys when they would flash open.
It's Edwards on the wing. 51 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Here's Davis, and the rejection by Noel. Here's Brissett. They get it again. Here's Bitadze. They had a number of cracks at it, but came away empty-handed. And there's the pass to Hayward. Banked in off the glass.
And it's just competing, you know, giving your best when it matters most.
It's called killer instinct. It's one thing to be close at the end. It's another to finish.
Here's Edwards. The top of the key jumper is on the mark.
Terrific play. This is why you run your offense through him and live with the results.
Up top right, Hayward outside. Back to right. Up top, Markkanen. Here's the teardrop. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. It was a tale of two teams tonight, one that was in total control, operating flawlessly. Thank you, David. Great interview once again. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, David Aldridge, Steve Smith, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. See you next time.